What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's project, this is French Toast's Ford Fiesta Z-Tech Experimental. And yeah, you can see why it's experimental. That massive, great engine sticking out the front of the hood there is pretty wild. I mean, the hood and front end don't even fit on because of that. It's absolutely fantastic. I love it. And I cannot wait to get stuck into this. But before we do that, thank you to everybody who gave me a score out of 10 for the beautiful Del Rey Winchester Supercharged Lowrider, the fast and low car. Beautiful looking thing. It ended up with 4 votes and a 9.37 out of 10. It was 2 10s, a 9, and an 8.5. So thank you everyone for voting. We did get it into the top 10. Sadly, not quite into the top 5, so it doesn't sit outside the front like these top 5, but still absolutely incredible. Thank you everyone for voting. Thank you everybody for voting. But let's crack on and get back to this beautiful Ford Fiesta Experimental as we jump in. This is the 2009 Ford Fiesta Z-Tech Experiment. Obviously not experimental. My apologies for mispronouncing that one. By French Toast, it is fantastic. We got ours from the auction house. It's only available in the auction or the barn, which means you can only get it in the good auction house or the barnyard, I believe. I might be wrong on that, actually. This might be from the bad auction house, but still pretty good condition nonetheless. The only thing that's bad is the frame at 3%. That is pretty bad, but did we get a good deal for it? Absolutely not. 30,533 is what I paid, and I could sell it for 24,813, losing out on 5,720. Hopefully we'll be able to claw that one back, because we will be taking this wild monster down the drag strip to really prove that V12 double overhead cam MRN engine, currently pumping out 583 factory horsepower. We're obviously going to be tuning this up as much as we can. All of the performance parts, any optional extras from TKAftermarket, squeezing all of the possible power from this beautiful V12 so that we can get this beast down the drag strip and maybe, just maybe, into the top half of the top 10 speederboard. Maybe even taking that top spot from Barker's custom McLaren F1. Do you think we can do it? I'm not sure myself, but there is only one way to find out. We need to get cracking with this beautiful, beautiful Ford Fiesta. Don't forget to check out the merch. I'm not going to put any on screen right now. We might do that a little bit later on, but virtualmechanic-shop.fourthwall.com. Grab yourself some Car Mechanic Simulator items, some Virtual Mechanic branded items, or maybe the Signature Series mug or t-shirt, which are going to be gone the 31st of July. So you haven't got long left to go and grab yourself one of them if you want it. But anyway, let's get cracking with this beautiful Ford Fiesta Z-Tech Experiment. Let's get it into the car wash. Let's get it all cleaned up. In the car wash then with this experimental, definitely a bit mental Ford Fiesta. Let's get it clean. We can already see it's sort of like this matte purple underneath. It is looking fantastic. Very pinky purple on there. Loving that colour. Looking absolutely beautiful. Very similar what we did on the McLaren without the black overlay to get that fade that we got on the McLaren. But let's get the interior done, get this beast back on the lifter, get that massive V12 ripped out of there, and everything else stripped down. That little fezzy's in the air. We need to check for that oil pan, and look at the exhaust setup on there. That's fantastic. Big old square side exit exhaust. I hope they don't clip when the wheels are on. That might be a bit close. We'll find out a little bit later on, but check for the oil pan. There is an oil pan that does clip with that front cross member, but it is a bit large, so we'll give French Toast the benefit of the doubt. Drain you out nice and easy. Quite a lot of it in there, still going, and a relatively clean as well. A well-looked-after beast of a V12. Let's get it underneath and see what we need to take out. So it is front-wheel drive. That's pretty epic on there, liking that. So we are missing some front drive axles, so I'm just going to quickly add them, or add one of them at least, to my shopping list. I'll come to the rest. I'll add the other one from there. I'll come to the rest a little bit later on. But let's get out the front drive shaft and the cheeky little starter. Out you come. All looking very nice. No rusty. Never mind. I was about to say no rusty bolts, just as one pops up. So out you come. We'll get rid of this, and this, and this, and this. Oh, there is a lot of front exhaust sections going on there. We'll get rid of all of that. Again, some clipping with that front cross member, but it is what it is. Let's get that engine ripped out of there. See if we've got everything off that we need to pull it out in one go. Over to the crane. Over to the crane. Move you over to the Fiesta. Don't know what happened there. I clicked too quickly, I believe. And pull that V12 out. Nice and easy. That is what we like. Let's jump in and check out the rest of the engine bay in here. Obviously, we got two Massive intercoolers that can be accessed from the underneath on the sides there. Looking fantastic. Then we got our ABS pumper module just here. Battery and fuse box just there with our brake servo here. Do we have... It's hard to see what's missing. I think we don't have an ECU, which is a bit of a shame. I do like an ECU. It does give us a lot extra power. Maybe it'll be hidden down the back. We do have the coolant reservoir down here as well. And then obviously our giant great fan housing kit for this exceedingly powerful Ford Fiesta. Let's just have another check for that ECU. Is it in here anywhere? I can't see it. Am I being blind? I don't think I am. Maybe this one doesn't have an ECU, which is a bit of a shame. That could have squeezed us a lot more power from this beautiful engine. But there we go. We've got a lot of stuff cut out for us in here today. Obviously, we did pull all the exhaust out already. Not that we'll be keeping that because we'll upgrade it to the performance stuff. We've got our, obviously, intercoolers giving us extra performance, and then everything we can add to that V12. But before we even get remotely close to that, we need to drain some liquids. Got no wishy-washy reservoir either. I've just noticed that, or just paid attention to that, should I say. But we got liquids from here and here, and that looks to be about it. So let's just crack on and get that going. Right-click, additional tools, drain tool. Click and hold on the container you want to drain the liquids from. Brake servo, out you come. Nice and easy. And then the coolant reservoir. No power steering reservoir, no wishy-washy reservoir. I'm going to get the rest of this all stripped out, including all of the suspension, once I've figured out everything that's missing and everything we need to replace. And then when we come back, it'll be time to sort out this beautiful bodywork on this absolutely stunning, wild, experimental, I'm sticking with experimental, Ford Fiesta Z-Tech. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on our feisty Fiesta. But we need to sort out all of this bodywork first and figure out what goes where. But I'll be honest, I don't think we're missing that much. Rear bumper, definitely missing the rear bumper. Ooh, and the trunk left tail light just up there. So we're not missing too much from this one, but there is a lot of options in the body shop. We'll check all of them out in a minute, but let's get this all stripped down first. Off of the fenders, the windshield and the roll cage is one piece. That's always helpful. Out you come. Door, is this window a piece? No. Side skirt or rear fender is. Off you come. Out comes the window there. Then we got the trunk window. The spoiler is one part. The trunk is another part. Oh, and the license plate, obviously. And then the mirrors, I was going to say then. The tail lights, out you come. I don't know what was going on there. Car part 5 is a piece. I just thought I'd better check that. That's the radiator that sits in there. Nothing. There we go. Fender, out you come. Window, off you come. And then a door, mirror, and window, off you come. We already got the fender and side skirt. So that might be everything. I'm not 100% on that information, but let's get on and get this interior out. Just the one seat and the steering wheel on there. Do we have... No, that is all that's going back in. So we'll have a play with that one a little bit later on. But first off, have we got everything out? 1% on there. And we can swap the frame, so I'm already confident we have got everything out. But we'll click on this anyway, just so you can see there is nothing there. Frame is at 3%, very low, and we bought the car for a little over 30,000. So what do we think today? I'm going to go with 225, 2,250, 500. Way off, but never mind. Let's jump in and check out the body shop. Here it is. I'll just show you how to get there. Come back, it is the fresh import goods because it is a Steam Workshop mod in here, and then on to the Fiesta. Now there is 14 pages, and that makes sense because there is 16 configs, so there's plenty of options. I can't go back to the right place now. There we go. Plenty of options for this Fiesta. We're not going to cover all of them. Car part 1s, as you can see, go all the way to here, and that is the either badge or front splitter section on there. Car part 2, a bit more of the splitter section, maybe some covers, lots of them to play around with. Car part 3, I'm not sure, hood latches and washer jets, maybe some headlights at the front there. Car part 4 is the spoilers, so we can definitely have a play around with them. Car part 5 is the antenna or that roof part that we had on. We can have dual ones on there, so we'll have a play around with some of them. I think this is predominantly going to go back together how it came apart, just to be on the safe side, make sure we have got everything. But there's lots of engine cover options. I'm not sure if we've got one of them in this build. Lots of front bumper options, lots of door options, window options, fender options, both front and rears. Keep going around, doors, windows, hood options, loads of them. Rear body windows, light options, mirror options, loads and loads and loads of options. Tail lights, rear bumpers, the fenders, as I already said earlier. More lights, more windows, more mirrors, trunk pieces. That rear tail light is a few options on there. Trunk windows, there is a lot of pieces. And also windshields, there is a lot of pieces as well. We've got a lot to go through with this beautiful little crazy wild Fiesta. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to start getting everything back together pretty much as it was. We may play around with a few bits in a minute, like checking out some mirrors, some different light options. We've definitely got no front bumpers, but we might check out the rear bumper and the trunk options, along with some spoilers as well. So there we go for the minute. I'm going to go start repairing everything that I can repair. And then when we come back, we'll start getting the body all back together before putting this beast into the paint booth. That's everything ready to go back on the beautiful Ford Fiesta X-Periment. So let's just get it go back together and see what we've ended up with. The windshield is just what it is. I've gone up for the windshield B, which is the Z-Tech with the roll cage in there. And it does look pretty good with that roll cage. The hood scoop at the top, we did keep that one as it is. I tested the dual one, but it was only a short one. I wanted one that went all the way back, so we stuck with that one on there as it was. This front fender, we managed to repair it as it was, so you go back on there. Although I did have to buy a new one for this side over here, but that's all right. They look pretty good, nice and wide. Definitely giving the style and stance this wants. As for the doors, I just stuck with them as they were, 3 doors plus van. I just figured they would fit better and it would all be good, that sort of thing. And same for the windows, 3-door plus van on there. But I did swap the mirrors out. I went for still Z-Tech mirrors, but a slightly different style. One that goes in that window slot just there. I think it looks a little bit better, just a little bit nicer in my opinion. So let's crack on and get the rest of this all in and up to the same spot. On you go and on you go there. Then we'll crack on with the fenders. I did again keep these as they were because they did fit the vehicle very nicely. Round to the other side. Let's get you on. Then these rear body windows. I just went for a van option. I figured we could paint these and hopefully blend them in and just give it something a little bit different. If I don't like it, we can always swap them back to glass windows if we want to. Rear bumper. Now, there is a few bumper options, but they seem to very specifically fit very specific body styles. I don't particularly like this rear bumper for one reason and one very simple reason only. There is exhaust there. You can see them tips just sticking out. I want to get rid of them and have them not on there. There is a bumper that doesn't have the exhaust. If we just go into the shop. Oh, too far. Fiesta, where's the rear bumpers? Don't want to go too far. This one here and this one here don't have the exhaust, but they do not fit this body style because they are way too wide. The rest of them all have an exhaust on. So that's the only thing I'm a bit disappointed about with this one, but we'll crack on. I did swap car part 2 out for a different Z-Tech option to go on there. One that had the full spread across the bottom, whereas the original one on there had sort of like side bits and a centre bit, but not these lines across the middle. So I opted to go for that one just for something a little bit different. Tail lights, I did also swap these ones out. I've gone for the ST line, blacked out or tinted, should I say, just because I like the style of them lights a little bit better than the Z-Tech ones. But anyway, GRC rear bumper. I think you can swap this one out, but the license plate's in a weird spot. If you put one of the other ones on there, it looks like it's not meant to be. So I left it with the GRC one, and we'll just throw a blank plate on there for the minute. The window, I figured we'd do a little bit of a tribute to Ken Block. Lovely little 43 sticker just on there, although when I tint it, I'm not sure how visible that will be. We shall see later on. Maybe we won't fully tint the windows on this one, especially with the blacked out van sections on the side there. And as for the spoiler, I did also swap this one out for a different option that does still fit all of these body lines, just slightly bigger, chunkier sort of connections into the frame and stuff like that. I know it's not into the frame, it's into the mesh on that trunk piece. We just opened that one up, you can see it's not really connected to anything, but there we go. It looks better in my opinion. And I think that's actually everything for the exterior. We're missing loads from the front. No front bumper, no hood, no headlights and stuff like that. So lots of options not needed for this specific build, the Z-Tech X-Periment. But let's get in and we'll put some interior in and then we'll check. And that's not... Ooh. I did know there was bonus parts. I don't know what they're for. And in fact, I did check the config a minute ago because I was editing the seat position so I could get a seat I wanted. And there was actually like 5 spoilers all sat in this exact same spot. So I don't know what they were for. I did actually delete all of them before I came back out. Just left the original one there. And 2 taxi signs. I'm not sure what they're actually meant to be for, but I'm leaving them off of mine because I don't know what they are. and it looks pretty good as it is. But we'll jump in and get the interior in. I have swapped it out to Multiply's beautiful Recaro Sport C style. Chuck them on in there. I did have to go and edit the seat size because these come out quite large, so I did have to reduce it down, get it to fit a little bit better. But there we go. And also for the steering wheel, we've gone for the Virtual Mechanic A. Once again, thank you Multiply for the beautiful seats and the steering wheel. We just quickly nip into photo mode so we can check them out, make sure there is no clipping. I've already been in and had a look. Doesn't clip down the side there. Doesn't really clip. Probably clips a little bit with the seatbelt on the underside if we went all the way in. Oh, actually, I think that's all right if I could get a nice spot. So that's not too shabby. It might be a little bit low, but it is pretty much attached to the floor without clipping through the floor to the underside of the car. So there we go. The other thing as well, the steering wheel does lean ever so slightly forward, so some of the bolt threads are visible from the back. But we can gloss over that one. That one isn't that important. But have we got everything? 95% for the bodies. I'm missing something. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. We come around here. We've got to put the trunk left taillight in. I've gone for the taillight B, long wing option, and the darker colour just to make it less visible. Now that should be everything. Let's just jump back in and double check. There we go. 100%, 100%, 100%. All done for the Experiment Z-Tech. Let's get this beast into the paint shop. Check out some of the livery options that come with the beautiful Fiesta and decide what one we're going to go for this beautiful, wild, crazy Fiesta today. In the paint shop then with the spicy Peri Peri Fiesta. Sorry about that one. I couldn't help it. Been trying to come up with different names to call it each time. But anyway, let's get in and check out some wonderful factory colours. Beautiful gloss red on there. Loving that one. Then a gloss white. A deep metallic blue, which does look quite nice. Lovely metallic silver. A lighter metallic blue. I do like that. Then we've got that beautiful pearl, pinky, purpley colour, which is just absolutely beautiful. Another pearl sort of hazard green, I would call that one, or hazard yellow maybe. Metallic burgundy red on there as well, looking quite nice. And then I believe this is meant to be green. Can I put torch on here? I can't. That's fine. But yeah, I think that is a green, but it's a very dark green. Almost like black olive green, but there we go. And then apparently this is chameleon colour. Oh, there is a little bit of... Is there a little bit of pink in there? A little bit of purple coming through on that deep blue? That does look quite nice, but I'm pretty confident none of that is what we're going to be going for. So let's go over to here and check out the liveries. French Toast liveries are always fantastic. So in the first spot, we've got the Castrol Edge WRC Abu Dhabi Rally one, and that does look beautiful. We shouldn't be on chameleon. Let's take it off of that. Let's just put it on gloss for the time being. Fantastic livery there. Slot number 2 is the Falcon Tyres livery. I've used this one before on a couple of builds. It is a fantastic livery. That green fading into the blue on there. Beautiful, beautiful work. Looking lovely as always. Next slot is the GRC number 14 rally car. This is a good looking livery, but I can't do much with these colours without making it look like a toy. So we won't be going for that one today. Next slot is our lovely Gymkhana free, the Drip livery. I do love this one. I am a big fan of this, but I don't want to go for it today. We're already paying a little bit of tribute to Ken Block. We don't want to full Ken Block this Fiesta. It's not his style, not like a Drift or a Gymkhana one, so not what we're going for. Next slot is another Ken Block one. This is the Dubai Gymkhana series. Looking absolutely fantastic. Beautiful livery again, but not what we are going for. Next slot is... the OG Fiesta Rally livery, I believe Rally livery. Don't quote me on that one. Nice style, but just a bit plain and a bit boring for this wild, crazy beast. Then we've got the Olsbergs Rally livery. Again, looking absolutely fantastic. Beautiful livery, but not what we're going for today. Next slot is the Rockstar Energy livery. Now, this is the one we are going to be going for. It's got this sort of deep grey on there. Looking fantastic into the yellow, bit of splash of black. We've also got some white and red. Plenty of colours to play around with. Probably not going to be keeping any chrome or aluminium on this one. It'll probably be mostly in this grey colour or black or even yellow or the red on there. We may splash a bit of white as well, actually. But I don't think I'm going to have it in gloss. I'm going to go back to my classic matte because I do like a matte finish on there. I think that's looking good. The other thing I am going to do is I'm going to nip this all the way down here, all the way down to here. And I think it needs to be a little bit brighter on the grey. Maybe a 20 on that grey. I think that's what we're going to go for on that one. And hope that is the colour we are aiming for. So we'll go for grey on the 20. And I think I'm going to go for white bolts everywhere, all screws including rims. Nip that down there, nap down there, and then the brightness all the way up. I can never remember which way round it is. If I put the brightness up, there we go. Brightness up, saturation down. That's the right way round. So we're going to go for that and get some lovely white bolts on there as well. So let's get all of that painted. Hopefully that engine bay grey is kind of the colour we are looking for, as long as it sort of matches in with what's going on around. That's pretty close. I wouldn't say it was perfect, but it's very, very close. Happy with that. We're obviously going to be using blacks, that dark grey, yellow, white, and red. Probably not too much white. We just got the bolts in white. We'll see what else we can do with a few different colours. There is definitely a lot to play around with. I want to try and do something with this roll cage if I can. So we'll take you out. Definitely want to do something with this seat and a little bit of something else to our steering wheel. I don't want the grey on the Virtual Mechanic logo on there. And the other thing I do want to try is if I want to try and see if I can change the colour of that, the 43 badge in the middle of that window. If I can, that would be absolutely fantastic. I think that's all I want to change bodywork wise. The rest of it's got liveries on it, so we're going to leave all of that as it is. Maybe we could change the trunk, but I don't know what to change it to. I quite like it as it is, so I think we're going to leave that as that. I wonder if we've got something we can check the bolt color on just to make sure. So let's put you in and then the module on top. Just make sure they did go white. They did. That's all I wanted to see. I'm not going to bolt them all up. But there we go. All looking good. I'm going to crack on, get everything else painted. Next time you see this beautiful, wild, crazy Fiesta be on the lift, ready to go back together, hopefully with everything painted, ready and looking awesome. So I'm going to paint some parts. I'll see you back on the lifter in just a moment, and I'll show you everything we've changed. That's everything painted on our spicy Peri Peri Fiesta. Looking absolutely crazy. Loving the Rockstar energy drinks and livery on this one and all the colour matching going on. Let's get started with the most obvious part. These two bright yellow intercoolers right at the front there, or the bright white cross member in the centre with the red accents on all the bushings everywhere. Looking quite good. Bit of a red sway bar in there as well. We've also got the ABS pump in yellow, the module in black. It does clip just a little bit on there. The spring caps are just in black. You can just see a little bit of the yellow springs poking through. We've also got the brake servo in black on there as well. All looking pretty good. Let's check out the interior. I did obviously get a bit of extra yellow on that steering wheel. The roll cage we managed to get to go full yellow as well. And we also got some yellow on that beautiful seat. Looking fantastic in there. Also, we got yellow on the fans. The fan housing kit is black. The fan housing kit is grey, along with the radiator is grey as well. But we'll check that one out in a bit more detail in just a second. So we jump in here. First thing I will say is I did find the ECU tucked just underneath the fuse box. It was hidden away from me at the beginning, but we managed to find it. Fuse box itself is just in a light carbon fibre weave on there. And then we've obviously got the tray in a grey, red bracket, and a bit of yellow on that Ford logo on the top there for the battery. The coolant reservoir is also in a little bit of carbon weave on there. We've already talked about the radiator and fan housing kit. Fuel tanks in that body match grey, along with the yellow pump on there. Back of the suspension, or the rear suspension, we got a white cross member, the same as the front. Grey on all of the arms connecting, along with all the red bushings and the white bolts. Looks fantastic. Black on the spring setup, and yellow springs on there with our red big brake kit on there for good measure. I think this is definitely going to need some stopping power. For the front, it is the same. That white cross member, grey on the connecting arms, red bushings, white bolts, black on all the spring setup and all of that, and then a big red brake kit on there. All looking fantastic. I think it looks beautiful so far. We've still got work cut out, still got some bits left to do. And one of them bits is going to build that beautiful V12 engine. So let's go crack on with that. There she is on the stand, looking very nice. The block itself is in a steel black and yellow. The oil pan is in steel black so that they would all blend in together. But the heads are in that body matched grey. If I just put the torch back on, you can just about see it there. It's a totally different colour, but it's looking very nice. These are the i4 cam gears from TKAftermarket. They do fit on this V12 engine and look good in a yellow and black if you want to do that. We jump onto the insides of the heads. There are 6 spark plugs on either side, so 12 in total. 2 camshaft A's on either side, so 4 camshaft A's in total. And then each camshaft needs 5 camshaft caps, so 20 of them all together. But let's crack on and get more of this beautiful engine all together. We're going to start with our power steering pump. which is in yellow and steel black on there. Obviously, we couldn't do grey and yellow fully because we need a preset colour. So we did steel black mostly for the preset colour. The oil filter is in that body match grey, just coming off the side there, matching in with the engine heads. Around to the other side, the alternator on you go. That is in, I believe, steel black. I want to say it is the same as the rest of that. That is in a cheeky little bit of steel black. And then we got a timing chain shoe up here, which is in a red and steel black, keeping that rubber bit in the black or whatever that material was meant to be. But the rest of it in a cheeky bit of red on there. Belts on you go. First belt is in a lovely white. And our timing chain shoes have been matched in with that red to match that timing shoe at the top there. Couldn't get my words out. Timing cover for the main one is in that body match grey. Looking very, very nice. We have got a little bit of yellow poking out underneath, but we won't see that for too much longer because the water pump will go on top of it. Timing covers up here are in a steel black and yellow. Sadly, it does mean we mix the colours just a little bit. I would have loved this to be in the grey. In fact, when I first did it, I did it in grey and red, but the red was too much. I think we thought we'd go with slightly less red accents and a bit more yellow on there. Speaking of more yellow, timing chain cover at the top in that beautiful yellow. Then we got our water pump to go on, which is in steel black and yellow. Again, looking very nice. When it's in the car, these should all blend in. You'll only see them a little bit with some lighting and things like that. Water pump pulleys are all in a body matched grey. Looking very nice. On you go. On you go. And then we've obviously got our crankshaft pulley, which is in a bright yellow, just for good measure. Thermostat going up here is in steel black and yellow again, mostly steel black with a couple of little yellow accents. And obviously all of these bolts will go white when they're in the car. Idle rollers on you go. These are the extra splashes of red we've got. There is a little bit more to go on this engine. Not too much though. Another big old white belt on there, and then our belt tensioner just in that body matched grey. We just stand back a little bit, put some torch on. You can see that most of the colours are pretty much blending in. You can see a little bit of difference between the two tones and things like that, but it is all looking pretty good. Let's crack on further around and let's get on with these head covers. On you go in the massive bright yellow. Absolutely loving them. I think they look fantastic. And when it goes in the car, it should look absolutely incredible because, well, it's not hidden at all. All of these ignition coils are in that beautiful matched red that we've already used, which is the same red or a very, very close red to that is on the body. The energy drinks logo is in the red on there. So that's what we tried to match it into as best we could. Obviously, the yellow match from the yellow from the bodywork, and that grey match from the grey on the bodywork. Oh, I forgot about this. It's going to be a little bit difficult. So let's get up here and, oh, I missed one, and get all of these ignition coils in, ready to go. Swinging around here just a little bit. And then in you go with that big intake manifold just in our way. If we swing around to the back, we can get that fuel filter on, which is in the same red as all of these other bits of red up here. And let's get the intake manifold on, which is in that body much grey on the top. Looking very, very nice on there. Quite pleased with how that one turned out. We've also got the throttles on the side, which are in a bit of grey and red, which is an ever so slightly different red. Yes, ever so slightly different red, because this is the Quality of Life Forced red, and this is our chosen red. This is also the Quality of Life Force red as well, just in case you were wondering. On we go around to the other side, get the other throttle on, looking very, very nice, and then we'll get that fuel rail on, and then all them exhaust manifolds, and get this all finished off. Fuel rails are in yellow, and a little bit of steel black on there, just for a bit of definition, looking very nice. And then the exhaust manifolds in a Quality of Life Forced white. I was going to do them in matte white, but I needed to choose a separate color white. You'll see why for the exhaust tips in just a minute. So let's get all of these on. On you go, and in you go there. And that is this beautiful V12 engine. If I could get a nice place, all finished off. Looking absolutely fantastic on the stand there. Loving that one, but let's get it off the stand and let's get it dropped into the crazy experimental Ford Fiesta. The engine cranes over. Let's get this beast of a V12 dropped in and see how good this looks. Put that crane away. That is absolutely crazy wild, and I love it. Loving the grey. You can just about see it matches in with the framework on the inside there, which then in turn matches in with the rest of that bodywork. The yellows are looking fantastic. The extra splashes of red are looking beautiful, and the little bit of white accents are incredible. And obviously, we don't need to jump in. We can see all the white bolts from here. Not quite perfectly matched in with the belts and things like that, but very, very close. Still looking beautiful nonetheless. I think that looks fantastic. What do you think? Do let me know in the comments below. This Fiesta is absolutely mental. I'm so glad you made it, French Toast. I'm so glad you suggested that I build it, because it is a lot of fun. Let's get in underneath, though. We've still got a few bits left to go, starting with that wonderful gearbox, which is in yellow and steel black, matching in with that engine block there. Looking very nice. All the yellow accents on it, looking beautiful. And then just a little white bolt attached at the end. Got our front drive shaft in here, which is in a yellow, going right through the center. So perfectly placed. It's unbelievable. Well done, French toast. And then we've got our front drive axles, which are just in a matte black on there, just to blend them in just a little bit better. In you go, and on you go just there. Now we can crack on with the rest of this exhaust. All of these parts are in that quality of life forced white. All these front exhaust sections, and they are Land Rover front exhaust sections, so you will need the Land Rover DLC for this one. On you go there, and then our final big rear mufflers are the V12 rear mufflers. Absolutely massive, and I wanted some yellow tips on there, mostly with the white. We'll check them out in just a second. Let's get the other one on, and that is everything. No rear drive shaft. This is a front wheel drive, things like that. So that is pretty much it. We've just got some wheels to do, some windows to tint, get all the liquids topped up, and then we can get this beautiful Fiesta outside in the sun. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted the exhaust tips, considering how big they are, to match in with the yellow on the bodywork, while still keeping some of that white detail in there to match in with the rest of that livery. Looking fantastic. Let's get on, though, and tint some windows and get these lights done. I'm going to keep you with me, because we're not going to do a black tint on this one. Let's just jump in and see what we're going to work with today. Now, I'm thinking, as this is yellow, grey, red and white, I feel like, in fact, I've already got it saved here. I don't want to go for all, though. Let's go for that separately. I want to get this yellow in here. It's very vibrant, very bright. I don't know if I want to use sort of like a higher percentage, because obviously we could go like that and then you just fully can't see out the window, and that is definitely too much. So I think we keep it low, probably around where it was, sort of like the 5% mark, I think. We'll go for that, he says, fingers crossed. Then we got the trunk window. Now, obviously, I want to keep that Chem Block logo on there as much as I can. That is still sort of visible on that 5%. And that is the same as the windshield, isn't it? So we'll go for that. Still keeping that 43 Chem Block logo visible. These don't need anything because they're blacked out on the bodywork. Then we've got the front door windows. We'll go with the same for the time being, and we'll check it from the inside in a moment. But can we do any more? Obviously, we got no headlights on this one, so we don't need to worry about that. But round to the tail lights. What about a bit of yellow? No, thank you. A bit of 1% black. Is that really 1% black? Oh, do we? Oh, okay. I see. I see. Taking the red out. What if we just went full red? Is that going to be too... That's definitely too much. Do we keep it as it is? Or do we go for a full black? I'm quite liking the full black, so I think we go for that. On you go for that side. On you go for that side. Is there any more? There is. Oh, there's the trunk tail light. What about yellow up there? No. I think we just go for the same principle. Full blacked out up there. And that is all of it. So let's give it a go. First time I've used yellow windows, so let's give that a bash. Jump inside. If I could get the seat, take a seat there. Oh, that's not too bad at all. Maybe the driver and passenger windows could use a little bit less, but I think it'll be all right. I don't really want to take it down a little bit less. It's only at 5% anyway, but we can see out. This should be suitable for drag racing. So we're going to leave that as it is. Get that put away. There we go. That's pretty much the finished model. We've just got some rims to do for this beautiful beast. So I'm going to go and decide which rims we're going to use, what we're going to do with the paint on the rims, hopefully make them look absolutely incredible. And I'll bring you back in just a second. The rim we've gone for today is the Rim 207 from the Rims DLC. Quite a nice looking rim. Let's see, it looks good in white. I'm not going to lie, I already quite like that. So I think that's what we're going to theme up with. We're going to go for a bit of the yellow that we've already chosen. And then I think we're going to scroll across to white, past steel black, the one we normally use, red and white. By the way, these are the three colours I have used on this build today because they're the free forced, so you can still mix two with them. Speaking of mixing two, let's get on and see if we can get some of that yellow and a bit of white onto this rim. White on the middle, yellow on the rim. Not what I'm feeling. The other way round is definitely what I want. White on the yellow on the spokes, sorry. And then white all the way round. Do we get paint and mix? We do, but it's not any different. So we're going to go back to mixed 4, and that's what we're going to go with. The bolts are obviously going to paint white in this anyway, but are already preset to paint white on the car. So let's get you painted. Let's get you attached to some tyres, and then on to the beautiful Fiesta. Just balancing this last rim now. Let's get you all done and get this side of the car all finished and ready to go. Starting at the back where we've got the smaller rims. As I said, it is rim at 207 for the backs. We want to go for this one. They're not smaller. They're still an 18-inch rim. But it's an 18-inch rim at the back with a 205 width, a 35 profile, and ET of 10 if you're going to use the TKAftermarket Brumbo brakes on there, especially for this specific rim, as it is quite inset. If we just zoom into here, you could just about see that there is the ever so slightest knot clipping on there. You couldn't get it much closer. It is very, very close, but it does stick out ever so slightly, just a little bit. But we can deal with that. We'll live with that. If we go up to the front, it is the same rim at rim 207. It's still an 18-inch rim, but these fronts where all the power's going down are much wider, although not as wide as French Toast originally anticipated. So that might be my fault if we're not that good on the drag strip. 255 width on this one, 30 profile, 18-inch rim, and ET of 5 for the same reason, although it does have a little bit more clearance. I'm going to have to get it bolted in first, aren't I? Let's get you all bolted up, and then we'll check out the clearance on that brake caliper. A little bit more clearance anyway, so we probably could have got away with it, but it was a little bit close with 0 ET. So I just went with ET5 on there, and that is this beautiful Fiesta all finished. I'm just going to top some liquids up, but she is ready to go. I'm liking the yellow window tint, something I don't normally do, but it does fit in with the theme of the rest of this build, and the white and yellow rims really finish it off, in my opinion. I think it looks fantastic. What do you think? Do let me know again in the comments below. But I'm going to get the liquids topped up, and we'll get this beautiful Fiesta outside in the sun. Just the one thing left to do on the beautiful, beautiful wild experiment Fiesta. And let's just get on and get that done. Rear license plate, off you come. Then we've got our actual personalized, which is Experiment, obviously slightly abbreviated to fit on there just a little bit better. Obviously, just losing a letter E. Still looking pretty cool, I like it, and it is the Experiment edition, so it does make perfect sense. But let's jump inside this beautiful beast. If I get onto that seat, there we go. Absolutely stunning in here. I do love the interior. I actually like the battery and coolant stuff all being in the cab, especially considering there's no passenger seat with this crazy dragster anyway. So let's get it started and see what that V12 sounds like. Very, very high pitched. Let's give it some gas and see what she sounds like. Sounding very, very wild at the top end. Absolutely crazy. Loving that one. But anyway, let's get this beast onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. On the dyno then, with the Ford Fiesta Z-Tech X-Periment, with its V12 double overhead cam engine, pumping out 583 horsepower from factory. How much have we tuned it by, and what's its drag rating? A gain of 832 horsepower, 143%, almost an engine and a half added on top there. Absolutely fantastic from this crazy Fiesta. Bringing it up to 1,415 horsepower, a 1,400 horsepower front-wheel drive Ford Fiesta with a massive V12 slammed into the front, because it's not in the front technically. It's kind of bolted on, I guess. But anyway, with a drag rating of A 999, it definitely puts us at the top end of the drag rating, which should make the tournament very, very interesting. But let's get on and see the gearbox tune we've gone for today. There she is. I've just gone for a 2.6 ratio. Everything has been adjusted ever so slightly, so do look at it if you want to copy this one exactly. 106 kilometers an hour in first gear, 395 kilometers an hour in fifth gear. Not sure we'll quite get anywhere close to that in a quarter of a mile drag strip, but we shall find out in just a moment. But before we do that, we do have a fully tuned stage 3 ECU in there, giving us an additional 16% tuning, and you can check out the short in the top right hand corner to see how to easily do that every time. It's also linked in the description below, along with a link to how to easily tune the carburetors perfectly every time. Both less than 60 seconds. If you want to see how to tune, definitely worth checking out. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get this beast onto the drag strip and see what this crazy experiment Z-Tech Ford Fiesta can do in a drag tournament, and where it will sit on the top 10 speeder board. Back at the drag strip with the experimental Ford Fiesta Z-Tech. We're going into King of the Sands. We do quarter of a mile now, and we're obviously well and truly in the A class. Let's get in there, pay the 1,000 entry fee, and probably see a wall of unicorns. Let's be honest. Of well, but yeah, it's still pretty much a wall of unicorns. Although our first race isn't against a unicorn, which always makes me a little bit happy, especially when there are so many in here. We got my brother in here in a version 3 unicorn, sort of a given. Mietzi's in here with the Speederboard Crusher Batmobile. Thank you very much for driving something a bit different. Any more friends? King Slowpoke in the electric Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta. Absolutely fantastic there. Nice to see you, King Slowpoke. It has been a little while. Well, let's get on with our first race. The Ford Fiesta Z-Tech Experiment versus the Alenti Calope Virtual Mechanic Drag. Two heavily modified hot hatchbacks lining up on the drag strip. One with a wild V12 under the hood and one with a wild V8 stuffed in the back. Should be a pretty interesting race. Let's find out who's going to take the wheel. Who's going to take the lead? Although the Alenti Calope is four-wheel drive, so that might give it just a bit of an advantage off the line. I say just a bit, a massive advantage off the line. Who's going to take the win in the first race? I hope we don't lose. Let's go. Come on, you beautiful little experiment. Off the line. Struggles so much in first and second there. I'm never going to be able to fix that, I don't think. And there goes that Alenti Calope. Absolutely flying. Can we catch it? No, we can't, which is a shame. We have lost in the first race. I'm so disappointed. This should have been so much better than it was. I feel like I've broken it by putting slightly narrow wheels on the front just to make it look better, in my opinion. I reckon wider front wheels, you could probably get that power down much better than I'm able to at the moment. I just like to finish it with a complete package, the looks and everything. It's still very fast at 9.483 seconds and 286 kilometers an hour. It's just disappointing to lose in the first race. I really, really hate it when that happens. But we will do two quick 1v1s after we find out if the Alenti Calope is going to go on and take the tournament and all of the prize money. Obviously, we've paid our 1,000 entry fee and got absolutely nothing. So let's get back and see who's going to win this tournament, and then we'll go do two quick 1v1s. Well, only King Slowpoke made it through into the next round. Good luck, my friend. Let's see if you can make it onto the final and take the win. This is the Alenti Calope that beat us. In fact, it's the only Alenti Calope, so I want to keep an eye on that one. Who's going to make it through? Oh, King Slowpoke is already out. Obviously, it's the two unicorns at the top. Who would have guessed that? And then we got the Arkham Knight Speederboard Crusher Batmobile and the Alenti Calope VM Drag down here. Nice to see you're still in. Will you make it into the final? Obviously, a unicorn. It's the Speederboard Crusher. But who's going to take the final victory? Let's get going. It is the Speederboard Crusher. Absolutely love that one. Thank you very much for that. Our French Toast build did win the tournament in the end. Just not the one we were all hoping for. I say we were all. I imagine some of you are probably hoping for me to go out in the first round just because it's a little bit amusing. But I was not. Anyway, we lost our 1,000, which is a bit of a shame. But let's get on and go do two quick 1v1s against some random opponents just so we can get an average time down for the Speederboard. Back at the entrance, let's get on with it. 1v1, a quarter of a mile, 3 randomizations. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be the version 3 unicorn. I don't think it even changed that much. I went version 3, version 2, version 3. It is what it is. Let's get on with the second race in our quick 1v1 just to get a base time down. Although I imagine we're probably going to lose to the unicorn anyway. Let's go. Two heavily modified Fords on the lineup. One classic, one modern. Both wide-bodied, both wild, both crazy, and both got fantastic liveries. Enough of that, though. Let's get on. Race number 2. Can we actually get a win with this wild Ford Fiesta? Let's go. Come on, you little beast. Off the line. Into second. I'm going to do it nice and early. There goes the unicorn. Yeah, I didn't think we'd be able to beat this one anyway. Into fourth gear. Let's just get this beast across the line. And what sort of speeds and times have we got for run number 2? Even slower than our first run at 9.516 seconds at 286 kilometers an hour. So much slower than the unicorn. Although we had a much higher top speed than the unicorn, we just can't get that power down quickly enough. Again, I'm blaming myself for slightly narrower tyres. But there we go. Race number 2 lost. Will we be able to get a win with the Experiment Ford Fiesta? 3 more randomizations then, and I'm telling you, I'm not racing another unicorn. It is not happening. And what was it? We already had the Alenti Calope. We're not racing that one either, so let's give it some randoms. Oh, there we go. A different vehicle from... Oh, we'll do 3 anyway. 2, 3. We're back to the Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta. The electric Ferrari, I do believe this one is. Yeah, the Dyno 1H engine. So are we going to lose to an electric Ferrari? We've already lost to a four-wheel drive hatchback. We've already lost to a wild Ford Mustang. Are we also going to lose to a highly crazy modified Ferrari 250 GT? I imagine so, but let's go find out. All of our opponents today have been so far from stock. It's been fantastic. I do love the look of that Ferrari. It's one of the most beautiful cars in the world. But I'm not sure how I feel about it being electric. And I really hope we're not going to lose to an electric car. Could this be our only win of the day? I certainly hope so. Let's get this experimental Ford Fiesta Z-Tech going. Come on, you little beast. Please get one win under your belt. Let's go. Come on. That was it. Off the line. We're going to go into second pretty quickly, into third. I can't see the Ferrari pulling past us, although I'm sure it probably is. Can't see it, can't see it, can't see it. There it is. Did we win? That was so close. We did win. We actually got a win with our Ford Fiesta Z-Tech experiment. Absolutely wild. That was so close. 9.392 seconds to the quarter of a mile. Our fastest run of the day. And obviously only just beating out the electric Ferrari that did have a much higher top speed than us. I'm assuming it can just get the power down better than we can, but there we go. We had a slightly worse start, but we managed to catch up, take the lead, and then stay just about ahead for the rest of the race. We finally got a win. I'm so happy that at least we got one win under the belt, and that is the speed and time that will be going down on the speeder board. Let's get back to the garage and find out where this beautiful Fiesta will end up. Will it make it into the top 10? Let's go have a look. There we go, all finished with the beautiful Experiment Z-Tech and that wild V12 engine sticking out the front there. Looking absolutely fantastic. Sadly, we didn't quite get it onto the top 10 in the speeder board, coming in 11th place, just missing out on the top 10 spot with a 9.392 seconds to the quarter of a mile and a top speed of 287 kilometers an hour. One win out of three. Bit sad for the wild Ford Fiesta, but it is what it is. It was still a fun build, so let's talk some facts and figures. I bought the car for $30,533 at the beginning and could have sold it at a loss of $5,720, but we didn't do that. We spent another $93,401 upgrading, modifying, tuning, and painting this beautiful Fiesta to how you see it right in front of you now. Is there some money to be made? A total spend of $123,934. Let's get in and let's take a look. Well, there she is, all 100% finished. Only 111,000 kilometers on there. I say only. That's still quite a lot from 2009. Well, actually, I suppose it's not really that bad from 2009. It feels closer than it actually is. 2009 was really quite a long time ago. But anyway, we managed to squeeze a load more power from that V12 engine from 583 to 1,415, a gain of 143% power-wise. Absolutely fantastic, but it did cost us 123,934 to get there. So can we make some money? No. With a total sale of 113,218. Sadly, not only did this not win a tournament, it also lost the first race, didn't even win a race in a tournament, but it's also going to lose us £10,716, credits, dollars, whatever you want to call it. Not the best, if I'm being truly honest. A little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. Losing out on a bit of money, we can deal with that. I mean, it's not like we're poor with 101 million in the bank for our wonderful garage, but there we go. Sadly, we couldn't quite get this one into the top 10 either. Been a bit of a disappointment all round. But regardless, I absolutely love this build. It is wild, crazy. It looks absolutely incredible, and it is definitely worth building. And I do think we could do a lot better on the drag strip if I just let these tyres stick out a bit further from there. Just making a bit more wider tyres on the front would have been able to get the grip down a little bit better and then be more powerful on the drag strip. So I'm blaming myself and not French toast for that one. But anyway, time to say goodbye to our beautiful Fiesta. Sadly, losing out on a little over 10,000. But it is what it is. We're not going to worry too much about that. Don't forget to check out our wonderful new merchandise with all our Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 branded items. Obviously, I do have permission from Red Dot Games to sell them. Some of them are flying across the screen right now. Linked in the description to head over to the shop, virtualmechanic-shop.fourthwall.com. Head over there, check some of the merch out. Maybe buy yourself something nice We've got the Car Mechanic Simulator stuff. We've got Virtual Mechanic logo stuff and a lovely little crossbreed polo shirt for both of us. And I think that one's absolutely fantastic. And I cannot wait for mine to arrive. But anyway, enough of that. Thank you all. Let's get on and see what we got coming up next. Well, this is a Patreon exclusive from DeadBob777, aka Payne. This is the Dodge Charger 2015, and this is a very special one. This is the HS Customs given to me by Pi and Newton. So we're going to be working on this. This is a Dodge. You could enter into the competition over on the official Red Dot Games Discord server. Link in the description below. Go and check that one out. You could enter this one if you wanted to. This isn't going to be my competition entry. I've got something slightly different in mind for that one. But this is still a cool car. Link in the description below to Payne's Patreon, where you can sign up at the Garage Monkey level and get access to this and many other things, including the custom tyres I occasionally use and a few other awesome mods that you definitely want to check out. A couple of them, well, another one of them coming very soon on the channel. This one's available from all of the places. I don't think I added anything to this one, so I think you should be able to get it from all of there as well if you subscribe to the Patreon, although this is the HS Customs, and I don't think this one comes with it. I think this is a separate one that you have to get from somewhere else. But anyway, the engine in this one is the V8 Hemi 6.1, but I'm willing to swap that one out if you guys want to swap it out to a different engine. Let me know in the comments. Currently pumping out 560 horsepower, and we will be taking this one on the drag strip regardless of what happens. Hopefully doing slightly better than the Fiesta from today. Did we get a good deal for this beautiful Charger? Yes, I'll take it. We did. I will take it. 34,851 is what I paid, and I could sell it for 35,642, making a profit of 791 before we begin. And honestly, that doesn't happen very often. But there it is, the beautiful Dodge Charger. Make sure to join us back here on Monday for the beautiful HS Customs Dodge Charger build. Let me know what you thought in the comments of our beautiful Ford Fiesta today. Although we didn't quite get as good speed and times on the drag strip as we wanted. Although I'm happy with the speed and times, we just didn't manage to squeeze a win under our belt, which is always a little bit disappointing. But there we go. One of them things. Let's crack on. Don't forget you can also become a member of the VM Garage Club by clicking the join button below for £2.99 a month. With all of these added benefits, I give you all my custom configs and builds for you to play with in your game. We have a Discord server where I do all of that, and also you can come and chat with us and things like that. Help design builds. Occasionally I'll put in like rim choices and stuff like that. Maybe even the engine options. I might do a little poll on there for the engine options. So if you want to sign up for £2.99 a month like these guys here, thank you so much. You are all channel legends. I very much appreciate all of you and everything you do for me, whether it's watching the content, being a channel member, all of the things like that. So thank you all so much. But most importantly, if you want to support me, you can do so by joining the channel membership below, but just by watching the content, sharing the content, liking the content, and as always, leaving a comment. Do make sure you are subscribed, and thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, whatever it is you're getting up to, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.